Hello and welcome back to Serving Up Pitt. I'm Abby, and you might notice a different face neck in the screen next to me. Kat is not here today, but we have Miss Blaire Bayless filling in.
Hello.
Current Pitt Panther, outside hitter, junior. Blair, we're so happy to have you here. How's it going?
Things have been crazy. I mean, we just got back from Penn State. We had a big 4-set win last night. And yeah, we just got the rest of the week to kind of get into ready to ACC play. And yeah, things have been good. Busy, but good.
We're going to talk about all of that, starting with the Pitt statement win over Penn State, but also just talking about, what the team has really learned, like getting the perspective from someone who's, in the huddles. And just what lies ahead in the ACC play too, because it is a stacked ACC this year. So let's serve up some Pitt volleyball and go ahead and get started with that Penn State win. 4-set win. There were the first and the third set were especially close. How was that environment for you, Blair?
It was really surreal. I had always heard about like the Penn State atmosphere in the Penn State student section, but like to actually be in it and like be in it real time was really fun. I mean, before the match, Kellen and Fish were just always talking about like the Pitt Penn State rivalry, especially with Kellen being a Pittsburgh native. So it was just really fun. And he was like, the whole city is going to be behind you if we take them down. So it was really fun to like really experience that rivalry at their place. They came to us last year, which was really fun. And we sold out the Pete, which was absolutely incredible. But it was honestly like a whole different challenge to like play in their gym and go up against their fans and their student section. But obviously it was a lot of fun.
We had Doc Mart in the press conference yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
she said that she had to be explained the rivalry, which is just such a funny
Mm-hmm.
concept as someone like who's grown up around college sports, but it totally
Yeah.
makes sense that she would have no clue.
No, yeah, and, like, for me, like, being from the South and then coming up here and, like, seeing, like, how big those rivalries are, like, it's legit and it's fun.
Yeah. So just to break down, 25-23 in the first set, 25-17, pretty dominant in that second, and then dropped the third 23-25, and then 25-17 once again in that fourth set. What do you think was going really right for you guys? And then where do you think this team needs to, or in that game specifically, just maybe needed to look a little bit cleaner?
Yeah, I think I'll start with the negative because it's more fun to be with the positive. But one thing that we talked about a lot in our huddles, especially after the first set, was just like minimizing our errors. I felt like there were a couple times, like whether it was missed serves or missed hitting, where it was just like we kind of gave them the points,
Mm-hmm.
and that playing against a team that good, like you got to earn it out of them. So we were trying to go into the rest of the set, and the rest of the match, like just minimizing our errors and controlling our side. But overall, I think one area that was super fun to watch also was just the middle connection. I mean,
Yes.
Bree and Ryla absolutely balled out, and like Ryla crushing 10-foot line on game point was just like the cherry on top. Like it was literally like the storybook ending to that game. And that's something that we've been really working on in our gym because we have such dominant middles, and like really getting them going in our matches is gonna really set us apart from other teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Dan might be sick of the amount of times I've asked about the middles in the past couple of press conferences. I'm just like, because we talked about it on the podcast last week, but Ryla went from having like 7 kills total through the first 4 games
Yeah.
to 7 kills in the Pepperdine game alone. And
Yeah.
it's been really impressive to see not only the middle connection, but just how Brooke really spreads the ball around. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
you guys hit .299 yesterday, and then every single one of you hit over 200. Like, that's
Yeah.
hard to do. And it
For
wasn't like
sure.
one person was carrying the load over anyone else.
Yeah. No. And that's like when the game, I feel like it's starting to really click for us in that sense. Like I feel like especially from the first weekend until now, we just have so anybody can really come in and make a difference and score points for us. And I think that we've kind of really honed in on that, and
Mhm.
you can kind of see it in our point scoring for sure.
Yeah. So Penn State reigning national champs. That's gotta feel good.
It feels really good. I mean, the game was big for both of us from both sides. Obviously, they had a couple losses going into our match and really looked to our game, I feel like, to turn their season around before getting into conference play. And obviously, them being the reigning national champs, like, we looked at this as a great opportunity to take down a big team and keep streaking our good play and our good wins going into ACC play. So it was fun to, like, there was a lot at stake of this game, and it was fun to pull through and be the one to kind of get that momentum going into ACC play.
And what a way to cap off conference play too, like with a statement win like that. I mean, and on an 8-0 run after dropping the first 2 games of the season. Let's look, at this non-conference. We started 0-2, but bounced back pretty quickly. Got ranked wins over TCU, Arizona State, Kentucky, and Penn State. It's hard to bounce back like that. So that's really impressive what you guys were able to do immediately going into that TCU game after Florida.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're a gritty group, and like the conversations in the locker room after those 2 losses, we were definitely disappointed, but it was more of like a sense of urgency and almost like a undertone of like fire. Like, we were all just like, nope, like, that happened, it's not going to happen again. Like, we're coming in the gym ready to work, and we're going to start a new like story for ourselves, basically. And we knew that coming home that weekend, we kind of already have a little bit of an advantage being in PPG, but we knew that TCU is a good team. They're a scrappy team, and they were going to make us fight for it. And I think we just went into that next week of practice with a completely different like mentality of like, no, like, obviously we know teams are good, but we're going to have to win it out of them. And we just needed to find ways to click, especially with such a new group of players.
Well, and I can't imagine it's easy to open the season against Nebraska in Nebraska because that's a tough environment, whether you're playing Nebraska and Tampa, like you guys did 2 years ago, because their fans just travel so well.
And especially after last season, there was just all that hype of us in Nebraska kind of going back and forth between that number 1 seed. And so I think there was a lot of media around that game too. And I mean, I hope we get to play them again, and I hope we get the chance to beat them in the tournament. But it was a really cool experience just overall, and playing in that gym in front of those fans. Like, I mean, I think the whole NCAA knows that Nebraska is a volleyball state, so it was kind of fun to go in there and really experience it firsthand.
Kat and I have brought up now that like we've seen this, how this team has been able to develop, that like I want that game again, because like I think it would be almost a completely different result, because like I think about the fact that it wasn't very pretty for you guys, but you still took a set off of them. Yeah, and not a lot of teams have been able to do that.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I think it just goes back to that we're a gritty group. I mean, we all went in there and we wanted to beat them, and we knew, I think, the game was messy, but like I think going into the next one, we kind of know what to expect now, and we're a better group. We're a different group than we were 3 weeks ago, so it would be fun.
Yeah, you mentioned lots of new faces. I feel like I've talked about them a lot, but I'm curious on your. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry.
No, you're good. I have a dog at home too.
Like losing it. There's no one even on my porch. Okay. Your perspective, you've got Dockmar in the mix. You've got, we've seen Abby Emch a couple times, Marina, Brooke, Emery, so many new faces. Just first of all, what's that been like? Because you've been on teams that have very much been, returners after returners.
No, I was actually thinking about that today. I was like, wow, like Bree, Liv, and Haiti have been on the team like the longest, and like only Bree's graduating. So it was just kind of weird to think about, like, wow, like we have a really young team, not really in age, but in like time with the program. And like, but honestly, like it never really felt like that. I would say that every person that came in knew, like, immediately bought into the culture, immediately bought into like our principles and our values, and just like really was ready to work from day one. And so obviously like you have to just play with each other more and more to kind of get that aspect down. But as terms of like team culture and team attitude, like it was a perfect fit. Like every single one of the girls, like they really matched what we're trying to do with this program.
And that's hard to do with such an elite level of a program.
For
And
sure, yeah.
I think back to January when like a lot of people were like, oh, what's going to happen to Pitt now because of all the people you graduated, Tori transferring. But I've been really impressed with the way that you guys reloaded and didn't really like, it doesn't seem like you guys let any of that phase you, which is so important and is why you guys are ranked number 5.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's definitely been a change, but we kind of used that spring and used this summer to really try to get an edge on other teams before season even started, and tried to gel as much as we could before we were against an opponent that wasn't ourselves. And I think it's been fun to go into each week and just seeing how much this team has come from when we first started playing together. And it's exciting to kind of see like where we'll be in December.
Yeah, like I think about the growth that you guys have had just since I guess it's only really been like 3 or 4 weeks, if that.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm curious about who do you think, like if you had to pick 1 or 2 of these new players, who do you think has been like absolutely pivotal? I mean, all of them have been pivotal, but like who has really stood out and helped? Maybe like it wasn't unexpected for you, but maybe other people or like outside perspective were a bit unexpected.
Yeah, I think Brooke came in. She knew what the team needed from her, and she bought into it. Obviously, Rachel had been our setter for the past 3 or 4 years and had really dominated in that kind of aspect of the game on our team. And so coming in and like a setter is such a huge role because you're running the offense and kind of the bridge between the defense and the offense. So we knew that was going to be a big role that we had to fill. And right away, you could just tell that Brooke really wanted it, and she wants the best from her teammates around her. And I think that you can really see that when she plays, and it's fun to see her growing more and more comfortable with her hitters. She's just really fun to play with. Like she's constantly communicating on what I need as a hitter, and I'm constantly communicating her like when she's doing exactly what I need to do her to do. And it's just been really fun to see her take over that role, and she's done it with full force. And then obviously I think the most impressive for me is probably Izzy coming in at 17 and just being an absolute baller in our gym. We really prioritize and praise like effort in our gym, and she by far bought into that, and you can just see it in the way she plays. I mean, she's so athletic and so fast, and I mean, she literally had to get stitches after the game because she ran into a chair trying to get a ball. So I think that just really goes to show like what kind of player she is, and for her to come in and do that in her first year like as a 17-year-old is just really admirable. So yeah,
I knew she ran into the chair, did not realize she had to get stitches. That is
it's all good, like she's completely fine, but I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never gotten stitches before, and here she is like month 2 of college like tearing herself up, but she's killing it.
Yeah, she's been fun to watch because, you know, she was not a late addition, but sort of like you didn't really know how she was going to fit in the mix. And she's been like, for someone so young, like you cannot tell that she is that young.
Sure.
And then thinking about Brooke too is like the improvement that Brooke made from week 0 to week 1 was like insane because like you said, super big shoes to fill. And it's almost like she isn't even, I don't think anyone's thinking about filling Rachel Fairbanks' shoes anymore because she has put her own stamp on this.
For sure.
And it's really cool to see. Another player that I got a shout out because I have been from game 1, Nebraska, and I've asked you about her in press conferences before, is Dagmar Maurits. Yeah. I mean, first of all, she's hilarious. Like yesterday in the press conference, she was like, "This crowd is not normal in Netherlands," and I was like, "I can't imagine it is, Dagmar."
Yeah.
But I feel like she's been one of the most consistent players, which you wouldn't necessarily think of someone who just moved to the United States.
No, yeah, she's been huge for us in that aspect of consistency, especially with her passing. I mean, she's an incredible passer, and like you can just tell that if when you're next to her, like we're very trusting of like each other's abilities. And I know that like when I need to focus on kicking out and hitting, like I can trust her to take that seam and she'll just dime it. And I think that that's added just like a really level like style to our play. I mean, we have so many big hitters and she's so strong. I'm not taking away from that, but she's also just like that kind of levelness, consistent player that you kind of need from a 6-row outside hitter. So yeah, it's been fun to play with her.
And the fact that she's only a freshman, 21, but only a freshman.
Yeah, it's a 21-year-old freshman. But yeah, I mean, seeing her like kind of pick up her life and move here and then just absolutely buy into it and kind of take over the game, like it's very admirable. Like I have a lot of respect for all international players because I don't know if like I could do that at that age. You know, it's really cool to see.
It's cool that you have so many. I mean, it's 3, but that's so many in the grand scheme of things. With Dahlia Verlon as at the middle, and then Marina Pizzell and Doc Marmara at the outside. Like that's really cool. So now non-conference play is over. You finished conference play non-conference play at 8-2, and you're getting ready. You've got 6 days now at time of recording until your first ACC game against SMU, and then you have a home and home. So SMU on the 24th, and then SMU at the Pete on the 28th. SMU is one of the few teams that, or one of the only teams, one of 2 teams that gave you guys a loss last year. Is there some of that fire going into this?
Oh, definitely. Like, I think we're kind of calling it like our revenge match, especially with me and Bree getting to go home again and playing in that gym and stuff like that. Like with kind of something to prove against that team. And I mean, they are a great team. They're a fiery team. So it should definitely be a lot of competitive energy that entire week. And it's a big game to start off ACC play for sure. But as you said earlier, like the ACC is probably the toughest it's been, with so many good teams and so many good players. And I think there's just kind of that shift in energy in our gym too. Like we kind of know that like a new almost era is starting of the season, and we're trying to prepare for that for sure.
Yeah, to break down the numbers of the strength of the ACC and just, the top 25 as a whole, as of the Power 4 conferences, ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10, each of those schools have 6 teams ranked. Each of those conferences have 6 schools ranked in the top 25. The only non-power conference team, which sometimes is power conference. I hate the power conference, non-power conference at this point. It's so convoluted. But Creighton's in there. But I think when you break it down more is the ACC has 4 in the top 10, and 3 of those are in the top 5, with Louisville at number 3, Stanford at number 4, and Pitt at number 5. That's like, I mean, we all knew Stanford, Louisville, Pitt is going to continue to be in the mix, but now you're looking like all the way down to there's not really an easy game in the ACC at this point.
There's not. It's going to be a battle for the next 2 months for sure to take home that title. But I mean, that's kind of what we want too. Like we want to play those hard teams and we want to be in those atmospheres going into the tournament, because the more we experience that now, like it'll help our tournament run in the future. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly feeling really grateful that we have such a good conference, because every weekend is going to be a challenge, which means that every weekend, like, we're going to be pushing ourselves and finding ways to get better.
So now that you've gotten through non-conference play and you're looking through conference play, what areas do you really want to see this team kind of clean up so that you can be number 1 at the end of conference play?
Yeah, I think Fish has really been honing in on our defense intensity, whether that's with blocking or getting digs. Like our goal every game is to get more digs than the other team. And I think going against those big hitters, that's going to be really vital for us for sure. And also just being good at in like critical moments, like any moments after 20 points, like trying to push and close out those sets is going to be really important. And learning to finish and finding ways to score, like when those high pressure situations are happening, is going to be really important too, because I know we're going to be in a lot of those. There's going to be a lot of tough games and a lot of hostile environments, and just finding ways to pull through even when kind of the odds are against you, it's going to be really important.
It's funny that you say defensive intensity, because I swear there are like long stretches during the games where I'm like, they're not going to let the ball hit the floor. Like, I mean, Olivia Babcock last night was like insane. Like the amount of balls she saved, and she still had 16 kills. I'm like,
no, I
know you're good, but like, holy cow.
No, and she was so excited too. I mean, she's been working on her defense so much, and so I was so proud of her, and we were all so excited to like see it finally like transfer to a game, and at that capacity too. I mean, like she was not letting a ball drop if it was within 5 feet of her, and it was so fun to watch her and like her reactions. And yeah,
because she's used to, just absolutely demolishing the ball. But
yeah, so now she can do it all.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
No, exactly.
Before we move on to this last little segment, I just got to ask, and I'm sure I can assume the answer here, but is there any opponent you're especially looking forward to playing?
I mean, definitely Louisville. I think that's a given, and I think it'll be a very different atmosphere as well, because I feel like they also have a very new team. But that's one of those big college rivalries that we'll have to teach our foreigners about, because that's a big one. And I think every girl on the team always looks forward to playing those games for sure.
I can't wait to hear what Dockmar has to say about a packed Pete. Like,
oh, I know. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
So that Louisville game at home is the day before Thanksgiving, which I'm very excited about. I'm not going home for Thanksgiving because of that game. But it's okay. I don't. It's my family lives far away anyway. But moving on, Blair. We said at the beginning of the show that you've been on this team. This is your third year on the team. But this is really, the first time you're stepping into a big role. Like you ran the 6-2 with Nisa last year a little bit, and you stepped in a little bit. But like just to give you some stats, last year you had 73 kills total. You're at 85 through 10 games. Like your workload has increased, and I'm curious, how did you prepare for the bigger role? Because you have become. You always were important, but like even more so now that you're a starter.
No, yeah. And I mean, this is what I've been working towards and what I've wanted since I've got here. So I would say like for the past 2 years, like I've kind of been preparing myself for this role. Specifically in this spring, when all of the kind of craziness was happening with our roster, Fish just really honed in that like the team's going to need me on and off the court to be a leader, especially going into my upperclassmen years, and kind of really knowing what this program needs and looks for in people and players. And I feel like in a way I kind of love leadership roles. Like I feel like I kind of thrive under them, and I love the challenge of kind of finding ways to push the team. And yeah, I mean, it's just been really fun. Obviously, like being an outside hitter, like you kind of have to have a skill in all areas of the game. So I've just been working in the gym on training basically whatever I can that can help the team in whatever role I'm in. Like they know that they can trust me in those moments. And yeah.
So your first 2 games, again, we all know that they were a little messy, but you probably didn't, the numbers that you put up probably weren't what you wanted. But then that TCU game, and it felt like from the outside's perspective that there was just a flip or a switch flipped. What was the catalyst between that start to how you have been able to be so consistent since then?
Yeah, I mean, definitely coming out of that weekend, I knew that I had a lot more to offer. I knew what I was capable of, and I was really frustrated that was in no way like a reflection of me as a player. And so going into that week, I kind of had like a nothing to lose mindset, and like going out and being like, hey, like when I'm in the front row, like I'm going to take over it. And like I think that that's really helped me kind of going in with that mindset that this is like my front row in a way. And like, honestly, that's just kind of made it more fun to play too. Like working with Brooke and kind of working alongside those hitters. And obviously, Liv is our hot hitter right now, but having as many offensive weapons and kind of being that like second big arm on the pin that my team needs, like it's been fun. And like that was kind of a wake up call for me that like, hey, like that's not good enough. That's not who you are as a player. Like flip, like we gotta flip this around. And yeah, so just going into each game with that mindset.
You mentioned that. Yeah, you mentioned that of those offensive weapons, and I think about something Kellen said to me last year was, with having, last year it was Olivia, Tori, and Valeria as three really big hitters. It makes you dangerous, and I think, or at least through these last 8 games, you've had 4 or 5 players in every game almost hit double digits, and that's like crazy to think about because they, like, a lot of people consider last year's squad one of the best, and to know that it is so balanced this year, and you're a big part of that.
No, and I mean, I think it just makes us such a tough team to play when the more offensive weapons that we have, and that also just kind of adds to the more plays we can run and the more fun we can have on our side. Is just knowing that like whoever we go to, we can trust to put the ball away and trust to find ways to score. I think it also just takes a lot of pressure off of us as hitters, and also Brooke as a setter, like just trusting in those abilities, trusting the people on the court. Like I think you're starting to really see that in the way that we play as well. And like you said, how Brooke is just like distributing the ball like everywhere, and like we're still finding ways for players to get almost double digits. Like it's a really cool thing to be a part of. Like I don't think there's any other word to say that, but it really is, to like see how this team is coming together.
I'd be remiss to not talk about how solid your blocking has been this season. I mean, Pitt right now, when I checked the stats a couple hours ago, you're like 21st nationally in blocks per set as a team. Bree Kelly's 5th in the nation for blocks per set. Just had to shout that out because that's insane that she's playing with a cast. Is that an area of your game that you like have always prided yourself on, or is that one that you really had to develop knowing that you were going to be a front row player this year? I can't hear you for some reason all of a sudden. There you go.
Okay. No, coming in my freshman year, that was actually one aspect of my game that the coaches were both like, no, like you really need to get better at that. Like it was not where it needed to be. And I think I focused a lot on that last year, especially kind of coming in those moments where the team needed a big block. And I think that my role last year really helped build my confidence in that aspect of the game. And honestly, like getting a step block is one of my favorite things in the game. Like I absolutely love the feeling, especially on the middle, like the slide. That's probably my favorite thing to block. And I feel like it's just such a big momentum shifter. And that's just something that I've grown my confidence in over time. And it's one of my favorite aspects of the game now, for sure.
And all of you are so good at it. And that's what's like crazy, is because I feel like on a lot of other teams, maybe not the top elite teams, but on a lot of other teams, it's really just like 1, 2, or 3 people that are top blockers. But it's like, it's you, it's Bree, it's Ryla, it's Olivia, it's Dockmar, it's Brooke. And that's what you need, which rocks.
For sure.
I've got 2 more for you, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. These are just 2 quick questions for you. Sorry, 3. What's been your favorite on the court moment this season?
Okay. Probably playing Kentucky and getting that stuff block against the middle, and then hearing my family go crazy in the stands. Like that was just really fun.
How about your favorite off the court moment?
We did whitewater rafting as a team bonding this year, and Ryla and TT fell into the rapids, and they caught it on pictures, and we were just all bunched up like afterwards, like looking at these pictures, and literally I laughed so hard I think I was crying. Like, it was so funny, and just like to have like those memories as a team like outside the court was really special.
And then last one for you, what's been your favorite game that you guys have played in this season?
I think honestly the TCU game was really fun, getting to play in the PPG arena, and then obviously the Kelly sisters getting to play against each other, and our first win as a team. I think that was a big turning point for us, and yeah, it was a fun environment.
Well, awesome. Blair, thank you so much for coming on and giving us the insights.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
And filling in for Kat. I still love the moment that I told you we were doing a podcast. You were like, I want to be on it. And I was like, I love it.
No, I think this is so cool. This is so awesome that you're doing this. It's really cool.
I'm happy that you're enjoying it. I'm happy that you came on. That's going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Huge thanks to Blair for joining us and sharing her perspective. Pitt's heading into ACC play with a lot of momentum, and I'm going to be here all season to cover it. Blair's going to be there all season playing in it. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode, and then find us wherever you listen to your other podcasts. We're on Apple, Spotify. I don't know if there are other podcast ones. But, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.